Hey, what's up, you guys? FilmFan0599 here again, and welcome back to the Universe of the BlueTubers. And today on Universe of the BlueTubers, I'm going to be reviewing Green Day's Insomniac. So, Insomniac was a 1995 released album, and, before this, of course, they had their 1994 released album, Dookie, which, if you're a fan of Green Day, or if you're just, your stuff in music, Dookie was a pretty massive hit. Dookie was a ginormous hit, it did well with sales, with critics, it got really fantastic reviews, so, people were kind of wondering at that time, oh, what's going to be next for the band? Well, what are they going to do next? And this was their next project, literally, released the following year, Insomniac. And Insomniac, for me, is a very interesting album. And what I necessarily mean by that is that the lyrics, the much more lyrical content with this album got a lot more angrier and, a lot more just kind of like Billy Joel sounded a lot more pissed off in this album. Like, he seriously did. And honestly, I think that's what I like about the album the most. It's a much more angrier direction for the band. Like, I think that's what I really like about this album the most. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is one of their best albums, but it's a very good record. I will say that, like I said, I think my favorite thing about this album the most is that it took a much more angrier direction and actually worked completely for this record. So, let's get into what I think is great. First being the production. The production is fantastic, it has that very punk rock, flavor to it. It has that very aggressive punk rock flavor to it. Like I said, lyrical content got a lot more angrier in this album, and it really, really shows. This is a much more angrier album than, say, Dookie. Because Dookie, although it, I want to say it's very, like, in that point, it was very uplifting, very, happy. However, here, it's just angry. It is nothing more than just being pissed off and angry. Like, that is nothing more than that in this album, honestly. And the other, there's two main themes of this album: anger and drug use. Drug use is the other big theme of this album, which comes up with other songs that I'll talk about a little bit later on. But those are the two main themes of this album: anger and drug use. And, and I really like that. I think it really flows well with that tone of the album, and I do think the production is really great on it. It really flows well with both of those two themes of this album. I do think everyone in the band does a great job. Trey Cool does a really great job with his drums, especially on Atticus Shank's 86 and Brain Stew, where I really think his drumming really stands out the most. And it's really great on this album. He does a really good job with his drumming work. But I think Atticus Shank's 86 and Brain Stew are really the songs, to me, that really stand out with his drumming. And they're just fantastic. I absolutely love them a lot. Mike Dirnt does an absolutely incredible job with his bass work on this album. It is fantastic. He seriously does an amazing job. Like songs like, Atticus Shank's, Stuck With Me, Panic Song, especially Panic Song, Brain Stew even, what was the last? Oh yeah, Stuart and the Av. I think he really does a really great job with his bass work on those albums, and he's just fantastic. Like, he really makes himself shine. Like, he really makes himself, that's what I love about Mike Dirnt the most, is that, he's not a bass player that really tries to stand out in the back and be like, hi, I'm here. No, he's like, I want to be front and center, like Billy, be front and center with the songs, and he does a really great job with that, and I condone him 100% for that. He is really great with his, bass work, and it really does flow well with a lot of the songs on here, and he really makes himself shine, and he's really great. So, yeah, it continuously proves why he's my favorite bass player of all time, because just the guy really shows that, like, hey, I'm a part of this band, I'm gonna show that I'm a part of this band, and he just does such a fantastic job with his bass work on this album. Billy Joel Armstrong himself does a really great job as well. His vocals, like I said, sound very, very pissed off and angry, and he does a really great job with that, and he does a very, very good job with that, in my opinion. And his guitar work is very good as well. You know, has a really great guitar work on this album, especially like with Brain Stew or Westbound Sign or Stuck With Me. Those are where I really think his guitar work, or Jaded. Those are really where his songs, I think, where his guitar work really sticks out. And it's just his vocals are really great as well. So yeah, so all three of the band members do a really great job with their parts on this album. The songs. Now let's get into the songs of the album. Now let's talk about let's first talk about the 4 big singles that were released off of this album. First, Geek Stink Breath. Geek Stink Breath was a song about how meth can damage you. So it's about like someone being very, very addicted to crystal meth, and just like it's damaging them so badly. Like, that's what really the song is about. Like, it's really damaging their face, and especially damaging their teeth. That's what really that song is about, and it just shows talks about the dangers of how much meth can, you know, damage yourself and everything, because the band has quite a bit of experience with it, because, you know, if you don't know, because a lot of in their earlier works, they would, like, write their songs when they were on, like, speed and meth and stuff. So the band has a lot of experience when it comes to that. And, you know, they really do show that in Geek Stink Breath, talking about, like, hey, this stuff is bad for you, do not take it. Like, and they do a really great job with that. So yeah, it's a really great song, has some really great lyrics to it. I absolutely love how it ends, where he just goes, Geek Stink Breath. Like, just how it, absolutely how it closes. Also how it opens, too, where it goes, like how it just it's so great how it opens and how it ends. Like, it's so fantastic. I absolutely love that song. Geek Stink Breath is great. Stuck With Me is another really great track. I do enjoy that track a lot as well. I think the guitar really shines on that album. On that song a lot, and Mike Dirnt's bass line really shines on that song. Brain Stew / Jaded. I think really Brain Stew was the biggest song to come off of this record. And Brain Stew is a really, really great song. Of course, everyone knows that iconic guitar riff. Like, everyone knows that iconic guitar riff to the song. And it's great, and it really flows well with the tone of the song. If you don't know what this song is about, going back to that, you know, theme of drug use, this one is about how meth is really damaging his sleep. You know, he's having insomnia. He's becoming an insomniac, referring to the title of the album. So it really does a great job of just being kind of a mellow song. Like, I want to say, like, it's somewhat calm and mellow at times. Like, it's like, you know, that's why I look at Brain Stew as. I look at Brain Stew as the much more mellow, kind of calm song. And then once you get into Jaded, that is one of the most fast-paced, one of the most in-your-face songs you will ever listen to in your entire life. Holy moly, does this just, it takes a 180 from Brain Stew. Like, Brain Stew's a little bit more calm, a little bit more subtle, then you get into Jaded, and man, does it take you, like, it's like you're being tied to a car, and it's just going. Like, it's just going, and it doesn't stop. Like, that's what I look at this song as. Like, it's just fantastic, this song. It's definitely one of my favorites off of the album. I do prefer it a little bit more over Brain Stew, but man, is it great. It's so great. Like, everything is fast. Like, Bill's guitar riff is so fast, and Trey Cool's drumming is so fast. Mike Dirnt's bass line is really fast. Like, everything is just really fast. Like, it is a really fast-paced song, and I love it a lot. It's one of their most just in your face, and like just more like just, you know, losing all control songs. Like, you can literally lose your mind while listening to this song. Like, you could just let loose and listen to this song. It's so great. I absolutely love Jaded a lot. Walking Contradiction, which was the 4th and final single released off of this album. I think it closes out the album on a very good note. I do think it's a very good song. Definitely closes out the album very well, in my opinion. The other songs in this album, like, for example, Brat, I do enjoy that song a lot. It's 1 minute and 43 seconds, I believe, and it's great. Like, that song is about how someone just a greedy little brat, referring to the title of the song, just wants their parents to die so he can get their investments, get their money. It's a very, 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 like, dark and unsettling track, but, you know, it's great. It has, you know, a very great guitar riff to it. And I absolutely love that song a lot. Also, I love how it's silent at first, where he's like, "Mom and Dad don't look so hot these days," and then all the instruments just come in. Great. And also, I think this song should have been the opening track. I like Atticus Shanks. That's a really good song, but I do think Brat should have been the opening track. I think Brat would have worked more as the opening track, but that's just me, of course. Songs like Panic Song, which is by far my favorite song off of the album. I do think that's a really, really great song. You know, like, just, it sounds very chaotic as well. Like, it makes you feel like you're having a panic attack. Like, I really do think so. Because, like, this song, if you don't know what this song's about, it's about how Billy and Mike used to have panic attacks and how it feels to have one, basically. And this song really does make you feel like you are having a panic attack yourself. Like, it's really great, like the bass line on here. Mwah, the bass line, the bass line, holy moly, the bass line. My God almighty, the bass line on this song is incredible, like, seriously. Fantastic. I worship at Mike Dirnt's feet. I do. I swear to God I do. Because, man, his bass line is so incredible on this song. And then Trey Cool's drumming. Like, the drum, like him coming in with the drumming, and then Billy coming in with the guitar, and the lyrics don't even hit until like 2 minutes into the song. And the lyrics are really good too. I really do think the lyrics are really great to the song. It's just a really great song overall, and I do think it's by far my favorite song on the album because of just how chaotic it sounds and really makes you feel like you're having a panic attack. So yeah. Westbound Sign's another great one. Has a great guitar riff to it. Like, definitely the opening riff to this song is one of my favorite, all-time favorite Green Day guitar riffs. Like, it's just so great. And I also really like the lyrics to that one as well. Has a really nice hook. Same with Stuart and the Av. That has a really nice hook to it as well. And I quite enjoy the bass line on that song too. My God almighty, is that great. Just, everything is just, I love the bass line on that track too, so yeah. So, and also, really the only two tracks I don't really care for are No Pride and Bob's Able to Who. Like, the instrumentals are great on those songs, but I do think those songs get a little bit repetitive, and, like, they get kind of annoying. Like, in No Pride, he'll just go, like, I have no pride! Like, he repeats that a couple of times in the song, and it didn't really work for me. And also, in Bob's Able to Who, like, he goes, like, and I'm all wound up! Like, it didn't work for me, and I was just like, it's kind of annoying, but really, they're not bad songs by any means, but I just don't really necessarily care for them as, like, some of the other songs on this album. But besides that, I do think Insomniac is a really solid album. I do enjoy Insomniac quite a bit. It is a very good Green Day album, in my opinion. I don't necessarily think it's one of their greatest, but it is a very good album, and I do appreciate the much more angrier tone that they went for with this album. So it's time for my official rating on Green Day's Insomniac, and my official rating on Green Day's Insomniac is a 3.5 out of 5. Very solid album in my opinion. I really enjoy it a lot. If you're definitely trying to get into Green Day's discography, this is definitely worth a listen. It's a very much more angrier album, and it really works a lot for this album, in my opinion. Very solid album. Enjoy it a lot. Definitely deserves a 3.5 out of 5. So, if you have listened to Green Day's Insomniac, what did you think of it? Leave it in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we'll see you out later. Peace.